Okay, my name is Kamran Hatami. I'm from Iran, and it's been 9 months that I moved to Hungary. I studied software engineering. I'm a developer. I code Java, and then I got my MBA. And besides board games, gamification, and all the things that we share in common, I love evolutionary psychology and neuroscience. And it's been 7 years that I work in gamification industry. And I want to start my presentation with a quote from Churchill. He said that we shape our buildings and then they shape us. And I will talk why I chose this quote. So the topics I want to discuss here is the importance of exhibitions, something I call primitive shapes, some case studies, some issues, and what I call stupid, simple, hard actions. Well, why do we think exhibitions are important? Because it's a way of marketing. Some industries have specialized exhibition, and some companies attend that exhibitions. People go there, and it's a very good chance for companies to get new customers, to sell their products, to show their new services, to show their new terrains, and something like that. The problem is that it's usually 3 or 4 days, and there is a competition for grabbing the visitors' attention. So what a better way than games and gamification? And if you think, uh, when someone asks you to design a game for their exhibition, hello everyone, usually you go to a meeting, you ask for their competitive advantage, their personas, their limitations. Maybe it's a cold weather, maybe it's a hot weather. Their KPI, your location, maybe it's near the entrance, maybe it's very far, and people will suffer to find your location. Do they want something serious? Do they want something gaming? How much space do you have? How much time do you have? What do customers do? What have they done before that worked? What have they done before that didn't work? Something like this. And their budget. This is actually common things. And in one project, I had a problem. They asked me that you should design the layout, not just a game. You should design a layout. And I had a problem. In my gamification, if you can actually select, for example, Bartle taxonomy, player type taxonomy. You can use Hexa, you can do many things, but they don't give you insight about designing a layout. And I was thinking with myself, what can I do to actually design the shapes of that space to actually enhance the player's experience? And that was the reason I get familiar to primitive shapes. The primitive shapes is something very interesting, I think, and because I haven't seen this thing in the gamification books I read more than 100 books about gamification. I think it is maybe not bad to introduce you to primitive shapes. So what are primitive shapes? Ancient Greek philosophers like Plato said that everything in the world is based on primitive shapes, circle, square, and triangle. And if you think carefully, everything is like that. Even our 3D modeling softwares work like that. They are circle, square, and triangle. And somehow they are evolutionary things and they have some meaning. For example, consider the Eiffel Tower. It's not that much tall, but if you go there, you feel some sort of dominance. If you look at the Benz logo, it feels somehow leader, something like that. And I understood that. For example, look at here. Uh, Here, the bottom right, there is a car. And if you don't know anything about cars, you understand that maybe it's very fast car. Or down left, you look, even if you don't know the company, from the logo, you understand that uh, they don't do things ordinary things. And they are doing something something weird, maybe, I don't know. And if you don't know even about Disney, just by looking at Disney, your mind understands friendliness. And if you look at this car, middle right, you have a feeling this is a family car or something like that. What I want to say is, The primitive shapes have a meaning in our mind. Our brain understands them. And it's a very good thing to start for the layout design. And we have a concept called dynamic composition. Dynamic composition says that when you want to create a character, when you want to create an environment, when you want to have audio in your, for example, game, you can have a circular character, you can have a circular environment, you can have a triangular audio or something like that. And it is very interesting for me because I could design even the layout of the exhibition game. So look at here, this is from Nintendo Always Reserved. When they wanted to design the Mario character, they use a singular shape. And if you look at the Wario, the right character, even the mustache is triangle. Even the shoes are triangle. Even the button, above the button is triangle. Even the ear are triangle. And everything is triangle. And our mind perceives this as somehow enemy, somehow danger. And it's really helpful for us to use these kind of things in exhibition games. And everywhere, for example, you want to design a gamification application, and in design of the layout, even you can use this kind of thing. But when I ask myself that, what do we have in gamification that is near this concept, near the concept of primitive shapes? I couldn't find something, to be honest. I forgot something. But there is something nice. If you have a circular character in a circular environment, it feels harmony. If you have triangular character in a triangular space, you have harmony. But if you have, for example, a circular character in a triangular environment, you have dissonance. The character feels somehow terrified. It's like a lamb in the lion's cage. It's very painful. And if you have a triangular character in a circular environment, it doesn't feel good. So I asked myself, what do we have that is near the concept of primitive shapes? And what I found is the happy chemicals. Serotonin is like triangle, dopamine is like a square, and oxytocin is like circle. And I encourage you to read this book. It helps you in the life and your designs. However, it doesn't have even one time the word gamification. So I designed something with the concept of primitive shapes, and I want to share with you. The first thing I want to discuss is document. And the exhibition was LA Computer, something like that. Some startups were there, some big companies were there. And according to our market research, the people were circle or triangle. Even so, what I sum up, we can say the people are from primitive shapes. We can say the design is from primitive shapes. You can say the behavior we want to design is about the primitive shapes. And you can create a harmony with the primitive shapes. So I understood that the startups and big companies are there. So startups, they want to grow fast. So we say they are triangles, the big companies are circle, and people were circle or triangle. So the document itself is a social platform buying a website. I don't want to discuss the innovations they have, but they were social and they were aggressive. So they were circle and they were triangle. So we had a problem. I told you, if we have a circular character in a triangle, we get fear. So what did we do? We add two circular characters, and we designed a cooperative game. This was a scenario. Two people were passing by, and we asked them, have you played golf? Because golf is a very expensive sport in our country, and for sure they said no. And then we told them that if you look at that triangle, this is the ramp. If you score, for every ball you score, we give you $10. And this is you, the gear, and your friend will be there to give you back the balls. I don't know if I can play the video in the... Okay. And I can't play the video, right? Okay, you can see. And what happened is that people were trying to play the game. At first, they had 1 meter distance. They couldn't do that. then we told them that come near, and whatever they do, they couldn't actually score. And the people around the space thought it was very easy. It is stupidly easy. Why can't you score from this distance? It is very easy. But the girl couldn't do that, and they wanted to try themselves. This makes them come and play, and when you play, you will be registered in our site, in document site, and amount of points you get, we give you money, credit money, and you have 24 hours to actually spend that money. So it is the concept that I call simple, stupid, hard action. It is very simple to score in this distance. It is stupid that people can't do, but if you want to try it, it is very hard for you because the golf stick is somehow heavy and it's your first time, it will be hard. So if you pay attention, this is a light, this is one circle, another circle. I don't know if you can watch my mouse. We have 5 circles here. The triangle, the ramp of golf is triangle, the ball are circle. So we use the circles and triangles in the space to boost the players' engagement and make some harmony. So what I want to tell you is that if we understand everything, we can design things with the primitive shapes, even the game designs. Yes, Pete, yes. And this is the result, which was very good for them. And many people, just for the sake of playing the golf, just for the sake of scoring, they came and played the game. And we had a ball. We were the most crowded, actually, company there. It was very good for them. The second thing I want to discuss is Hyperme. And Hyperme, there was an exhibition, Iran Job Affair. People were searching for jobs. And those people, according to our market research, were a square and triangle. But the problem was Hyperme itself was a circle concept. They want their core value was being a family, being together, or something like that. So we designed this thing. You see there is a square, and below there is another square. Everything is a square. And we have a circle here, a circle to convey the meaning of their core value. And the game was really simple. It was very simple. We asked them, and in the screen there was 4 square question, brain question, IQ question. And we told them, if you actually answer the question and beat the IQ level of our CEO, we will hire you without any interview, without any resume. And well, it was stupidly simple, but it was hard. And people were trying to answer. Some were cheating, some were asking each other, some were taking photo and sending to their friends. And when they wanted, for example, when the girl wants to answer the question, she answered with to our facilitator. Our facilitator has a special application, and she observes the behaviors. For example, did the girl cheated? Did the girl actually ask other? Did the girl help other? These were the values that we wanted to actually determine which people have, which people don't have these kind of things. And if you pay attention, the behavior and the competition were triangle, but our design was somehow a square. This was the result, 10 people hired. And in this project, we had some issues, to be honest. Many people cheated. They did everything to win the game. And boys usually cheat more because in the evolutionary perspective, they look for quantity and the girls look for quality. The other thing that we had, and I suggest you consider this, is the behavior of outliers. For example, we had a woman, and she was standing about 3 hours answering all of our questions. And she said, I don't want to get hired. I just want to beat your CEO. And she didn't know CEO. And it was very strange for us. Why is she doing this? And we had another man the other day. And you should actually have a plan for this kind of behavior. Toby has a good book about this infinite gamification, and he has some good recommendation for this kind of things. The third and the last thing I want to discuss is about Osrun, the exhibition is building and construction. There is a very old-fashioned industry, and in this industry, they don't give a good amount of money. And Osram itself is selling iron, selling steel online with a very cheap price. And one section of their website is about analyzing the market. For example, the crisis between Ukraine and Russia, what impact does it have on iron price? And people know Osram for this actually section. So they were searching, they were something like social media, they were Square, they were dopamine based. So I can't play this, I think. This is a very good video clip. In this video clip, you will see the game we designed. Actually, I will share my screen to let you know about this. Sorry. This is the game. Pay attention to squares and triangle because, as I said, the main thing was a square. We designed all of these balls with the square. Maybe the user doesn't understand this, but we understood that it has a very huge impact. If you look at this from this perspective, you see no triangle. But if you are here, like that man who was hitting, you can see here there is a. You can see here there is triangle if you look. If you pay attention. And the act of hitting is somehow aggressive. The act is triangle itself. And the game was, okay, this is another square, and dopamine is triggered when you are near a goal. So we had some delay in the counter, and the game was is something, if you like this, if you pay attention to TV in the left, you see there are some red numbers. If you get a number, and no one else does that have that number, you have a good amount of points, and with the points you will have the chance to winning a lottery. If you, for example, brand search the Osram, if you fill some form, if you fill some surveys, you will get more points. And this was the result, far beyond their expectations. Their Instagram, they had a very good buzz for that exhibition. And I told you, in this industry, even one client is so rich that they will change the company, and it was very good for them. At last, I want to thank Chris Solarski. If you want to know more about primitive shapes and using them in our designs, and something called dramatic care, which is combining the primitive shapes, you can read this wonderful book. And this is my email address. You can contact me. And at last, we shape our buildings with primitive shapes, and then primitive shapes will shape us. Thank you. If you have any question.
Wow, thank you so much, Kamran. That was excellent. What a really lovely and interesting presentation. I feel like we've had a masterclass in how to think about gamification within that kind of very experiential setting of an exhibition space, and how the way in which, I mean, I've certainly learned that the way in which I design my primitive shapes is going to affect how people feel about about the campaign. So interesting. And tell us more about your the sorts of customers that you're working with, and who are really kind of, because I see this as a really kind of a growing area, especially as we all come back now to online to real exhibitions. What sort of customers really kind of pick up on your work and are most excited by it?
Currently I'm working on a very interesting project, digital escape room. Mm-hmm. In this story, actually, you are a nurse in the emergency, and you understand that someone wants to commit a suicide. And then you go and understand that he lost all of his money in the market, in the Forex. And by solving the problems and by solving the the rooms, you will understand the trading errors people have. And it's educational somehow. And even in this kind of things, we use the primitive shapes. So for every design, for every pose, for every feeling the character has, we can use it to create some sort of harmony.
Yeah, that's excellent. I wonder if there are any other questions that people might have. Please just fire them through on the chat. One more question from me, if I may. So one of the things that I find interesting about conferences from a community engagement point of view is that people are very kind of ephemeral. They just come in and they go. They just turning up at an exhibition is very much the sort of the least community kind of type event that there can be. Have you any sort of thoughts on how gamification can help conference organizers, exhibition organizers, or the stand owners to kind of build community amongst the people who attend?
Actually, one of the most important thing I think is understanding the personas. Somehow, if you attend in a boring conference, is I think totally different from something very engaging. And if you have some engaging content, and I think the most important thing here is the content. If the content itself per se is very interesting, you can use some content-based games to actually feel it better. But if you have a boring things, you will have a very hard time. And I think if something is boring per se, you have a very hard work to gamify it.
Yeah, no, well, that's great advice. No, so well, thank you very much again. Thank you for coming and sharing your thoughts. As we look forward to seeing how your business and you develops and how you come up with some. I love seeing that guy hitting the anvil. I mean, that's hilarious. Simple, hard action. Yeah, great. Yeah. Really, really visual and physical. Fantastic. So thanks so much again. Thanks for coming and joining us. Thank you,
Good.
Kamran.